an orchid swirl soap, and it's inspired by my poor little orchid. You can see it here. This little guy used to have gorgeous flowers. I got this one actually at the farmer's market on 19th Street in Virginia Beach, and so my soap is inspired by this plant. I did save, and this is for the top of the soap that I'm making, I did save its little orchids. See how delicate they were? They were this pretty little pink, well, it's actually like a purple with the pink, light pink. It's kind of a creamy pink. But anyhow, so I'm gonna put those on the soap. And then I'm putting a little bit of these beautiful jasmine flowers, little blossoms, and those are from Bramble Berry. The recipe that I'm using is from Bramble Bee. You can find it on their website. It's the Swirled Orchid Cold Process Soap Project. It calls to use the Queen's Purple Mica, but I'm gonna actually use a beautiful orchid purple. So it's, you know, it's a little darker, a little bit different purple than the green, the Queen's Purple. Queen's Purple is actually very beautiful too, but I wanted to use the orchid. It has this beautiful smelling fragrance oil called Blushing Orchid. So kind of keeping in that theme. It's kind of florally, but yeah, it has like a clean smell to it. So I like that kind of thing. And it calls for some titanium dioxide and also a little bit of activated charcoal. So those are all prepped and ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. I'm gonna heat up this oil that we're gonna use. In the description, I'll put in the recipe and the link to Bramble Berry so that you can find this recipe as well and try it out if you'd like. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and our oil and our eye water is all ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and start to blend that. Need to get this to kind of a medium trace. So I haven't made this recipe before, so I'm checking to see, you know, make sure that I'm kind of following it. What's nice about the micas is that they are a natural, you know, material that you add to the soap that really makes it beautiful, and yet, you know, no chemicals, you know, from like a colorant or something, you know, like some of the ways of coloring can have chemicals, you know, so I'm trying to keep things a little bit more natural as much as possible. And so I like the mic. So now I've got to pour out 400 milliliters of the soap. So I'm going to pour that out, and it's still warm. So I'm using my scale, just, you know, because I want to follow exactly the recipe so it comes out nice. If I leave it to me, I'll be like, oh, that didn't quite come out right. So I've got my two different batters. Beautiful orchid mica, and add that in. Add all of it in. Don't want to waste any of it. Beautiful color. I feel like it matches my gloves. I do like purple. It's one of my favorite colors. My horse Fancy, I like to put purple on her. She's a black horse. She's a Tennessee walking horse. And she's all black except for her little back foot has a little bit of white on it. So she's mostly a black horse. And she's just beautiful. And we're gonna also add the charcoal to this to make it a deeper color. That's why we're adding this dark color to it. It's actually like a teaspoon of the orchid mica and a half a teaspoon of the activated charcoal, and I've already put in some oil to you know, make sure it doesn't clump up in here, because I kind of have a little tiny whisk thing that I use to, you know, mix it together and make sure there's no clumps. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, it's beautiful, isn't it? I love how it comes out. Nice. Yeah, I like that color. It's a pretty color. All right. So then we want to make this one here like a white color. So we're gonna put that in there. We're waiting to add the orchid fragrance, because sometimes fragrances will actually accelerate the sponification of the soap so that it gets thicker, and then if it gets too thick, you're like, oh no, I can't use this. So, you know, because if it gets, what they call it, freezing up, or I forgot the terminology. I'm still learning. But when it seizes, that's what they call it. They say the soap seizes, it just kind of like turns into a big clump, and then you can't even get it into the mold. I haven't had that happen yet, knock on wood. But hopefully it doesn't happen here. I'm working quickly with this, but it looks like it's doing good. See, it's getting a little thick, right? So gotta move it along. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I like this creamy white color. With the pink sea salt, it was just like its natural soap color. There wasn't really any additives other than, you know, when I made that one that had the pink bottom, I used a pink mica on it. Nice. Okay, so we got that. We got this one. Ooh, I love the color. Nice. Okay, so now what we need to do is add, oops, making a mess here, the fragrance oil, which is right here, and it smells so lovely. It's the, again, the blush, I think it's called the Blushing Orchid Fragrance. But anyhow, it's from Bramble Berry. It smells wonderful. It's not a real florally kind of smell. I don't really like the floral, you know, a strong floral smell. So it smells so good. It's kind of a clean, I don't know, like spring day kind of scent. Lovely, very lovely. So love it. Okay, these are, I think I've got them mixed together pretty good. I'm gonna be dropping the white into here and then mixing it together. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and pour it in. And it says to pour it from a high point, and then, you know, and then we'll swirl it in. So here we go. So I'm taking this and I'm gonna bring it up high so it's off camera, but wanna make sure we get it correctly. Okay, move this along a little bit. So got that in. All right, so it wants me to use the spatula or a large spoon and swirl the two colors together. Only swirl the batter about 2 or 3 times so the colors, you know, don't get mixed together, right? So we'll do that, and then we're gonna pour it into the mold. So here we got the mold. Move these other things out of the way that we don't need them. So here's the mold. We're gonna swirl this a little bit. I'm using a different camera, and I apologize for the other video. You know, it didn't come out as well as I thought it would because of the way I had the camera, so I hopefully fixed it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that with just kind of that kind of swirl, and I'm gonna go ahead and here we go. Just pouring the entire thing in. We don't need to save anything because we're not doing any other soap techniques at this point. So just pouring it all in and hoping for the best is basically it. And so once this has dried a little bit in the mold, I'll be able to unmold it and then cut it into its soap bar slices. And I will have a follow-up to share that with you. I'm trying to get all of this really nice. Oh, the fragrance is wonderful. You know, when I smell it out of the bottle, it's so strong. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be too much. But once it's inside the soap, and even after it starts to cure, it is much better. You know, it's not so strong, and it has you know, a good smell. The project shows that there's, you know, it kind of goes like this, you know, and then you put the flowers down the middle. But I think I just kind of like it swirly. All right, so that's it. I'll just put them down the side here. Of course, you know, when you go to use the soap, you know, these things come off, but a lot of people like to have the soap as a decoration for their bathrooms or whatever. And so it's always nice to have something decorative on it, right? So that's what we're going on here. And that's it. So not all of them will have it, so we'll just kind of put these down the center. Oops, sticking to me. So make sure they get stuck into the soap. Really like these jasmine buds. They're so pretty. Okay, so I think that is gonna do it for this. You can hopefully see how that looks. And the swirliness kind of is coming through. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a shine to it with this mica. Yeah, that'll give it just a little shine. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a nice looking soap. Kind of happy with the way it's turned out so far, but we will see when we go to unmold it. And then the last final thing, of course, my favorite, 99% rubbing alcohol. So here we go. What happens, sometimes it'll be soda ash, so this is why we spray it, to help prevent the soda ash from occurring. Hi, I'm back, and I've waited a few days to let this, you know, cure a little bit, and so I'm gonna unmold it now. It smells very lovely. It's a very soft, clean, slightly floral scent. I think it goes well with the candles, because the candles are a little different but have that same kind of a subtle floral scent to them. Oops, sorry. So, see if this is ready to unmold. Yeah, it looks good. So it's gonna pop out, and we'll take a look, and we'll cut the bars and see how how my first swirl soap turned out. So thanks for joining me in this little adventure here. Oh, so it looks pretty good. Look at, I'm gonna pull this out slowly. You know, it's still curing, so it's got a pretty color to it. I like it so far. Really love the smell. Oh, it looks really kind of lovely. Surprised. I am surprised. So I want to cut it, but I don't want to cut the flowers and stuff down into it. So I think I'm gonna turn it towards me and cut it that way. I think these end pieces, I'll just have those for samples or test them out, you know, that kind of thing. So let me see how that comes out. Oh yeah, so here's the swirl. Yeah, I'm really pleasantly surprised. So that looks good. Okay, so I finished cutting the rest of the bars and just gonna show you how I clean them up a little bit so you can see they're a little rough around where the cut was. So you can see how, you know, jagged this is. And that is a result of, you know, using this type of a cutter with the wood holder, and you know, it has these 1-inch slots that you can cut the soap, but for the cold process soap, it does leave a little bit of a rough finish on it, so you kind of just take it down and you can see just kind of removing that roughness. It comes off very easy right now because the soap is very soft, and it'll come right off, and then you can kind of make a little edging on it. They also have soap bevelers, which you could also use. I mean, that's another tool that soap makers use, and it's more of like a wooden thing where you can kind of slide the soap through, or sometimes they're plastic and you can just, you know, and it's got like some kind of a blade that would create the bevel. And so you wouldn't have to do it all by hand, but it doesn't take very long. You can see I'm just about done kind of cleaning it up a little bit, making it a little smoother. And of course, you know, once these are fully cured, you know, in 4 to 6 weeks, I would go ahead and, you know, clean them up a little bit more again. You know, at that time, I just like to clean it when it's still soft, and you know, kind of get it ready for when it's curing, so that it won't be so much work when it is ready and nice and hard and ready to be sold or gifted. But I do like the design, so I think the technique was a lot of fun. I wasn't sure how it would look, but you know, you can see where it kind of dropped in, a layered approach, and so that was kind of neat to see how it worked. And I would do it again. And I do love this smell of this soap, so that was also another plus for this. So I am going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these, and then they'll be all ready to be put aside, you know, and cured. You know, want to make sure that they're cured long enough. But the tops came out cute. You know, some of them have the flower, and you can see a little bit of the sparkle with the mica sparkle in here. Again, this one here, needs to be cleaned up too. You can see where the rough edges are. Just kind of clean them up and finish those up. The smells are similar to each other, so that's nice. So if you have this, you know, in a bathtub area and you can light the candle, it would have the same kind of scent, which is nice. And it was a lot of fun making them. I enjoyed it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That'll let you know when I have new videos posted. So I enjoyed making these, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Here's a little close-up of the orchid flower. Okay, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.